You walk into a dark parking lot. Nothing is there. No footsteps, no shadows. Your heart still pounds. Your skin still prickles. Your eyes still scan every corner. There is no predator. There is no threat. But your body doesn't know that. Your brain is still running old software. And tonight you're going to find out why it never got the update. For most of human history, you were not the top of the food chain. For roughly 2 million years, early humans lived alongside animals that could kill them in seconds. Lions, hyenas, leopards. Anthropologist Donna Hart studied the fossil record of early hominins and found bite marks, puncture wounds, skulls with tooth impressions matching large cats. Her research with Robert Sussman argued predation wasn't rare, it was constant. And every generation that survived was a generation that got better at noticing danger before it arrived. Not after. Before. The humans who are your direct ancestors weren't the strongest or the fastest. They were the ones who flinched at the right rustle in the grass. Fear wasn't a flaw. Fear was a filter. Only the ones who passed through it had children. But evolution moves slowly. It took millions of years to build your threat detection system. It's had only a few thousand years to notice the predators are gone. In evolutionary time, that's nothing. So your amygdala, the small cluster of neurons whose job is to scan for danger, is still scanning. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux found that it reacts before your conscious mind even processes what's happening. You feel afraid before you know why. That used to mean survival. Now it just means a buzzing phone at 2 a.m. sets off the same alarm a lion once did. Psychologist Sapolsky spent decades studying stress in wild baboons, and he found something telling. A zebra sees a lion, its stress system floods, it runs, and the stress ends. Quickly. Humans are different. You can trigger that same ancient response just by thinking about a problem. No lion required. Just a memory, or a worry, or an imagined conversation that hasn't even happened yet. Your ancestors' stress systems were built for sprints. Yours is stuck running a marathon it was never designed for. Why hasn't this faded? Because evolution doesn't optimize for comfort. It optimizes for survival, and survival has a brutal asymmetry. Hear a rustle that's just the wind? You waste a few seconds of adrenaline. Hear a rustle that's a predator and ignore it. You die. So natural selection built you to assume the worst first, always. False alarms were cheap. Missed threats were fatal. That's why a harsh email can feel like a punch to the chest. Why a friend not texting back spirals into a story about them being angry. Psychologist Naomi Eisenberger ran an experiment where participants were excluded from a simple ball-tossing game inside a brain scanner. The region that lit up was the same one that lights up during physical pain. To your ancient nervous system, being left out isn't a metaphor. It's an injury. Because for most of human history, isolation from the group didn't just hurt your feelings. It could get you killed. So this system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. The world just changed faster than your biology could. You built cities and phones and global communication in the blink of an evolutionary eye. But you're still wearing hardware built for a species that spent almost all of its existence one bad decision away from being eaten. So the next time your heart races over something that logically shouldn't scare you, don't judge yourself for it. That reaction isn't irrational. It's inherited. Some tiny circuit in your brain is still standing in tall grass, still listening, still convinced that staying alert is what keeps you alive. You walk out of the parking lot. Nothing was there. There was never anything there. But for a few seconds, your body was ready for a predator that vanished 10,000 years ago. And in that brief flash of fear, you weren't overreacting. You were remembering.